My perfect husband keeps looking at women on IG. Should this bother me? Throwaway account as we're both Redditors. I'll start this off by saying that other than my issue, or non-issue, in the title, he is an amazing guy and I couldn't imagine my life without him. We've been together for about 6 years, married for 2. A bit of character background. He grew up poor and now he's in high-up executive position. After his big promotion a few years ago, he told me I didn't have to work anymore if I didn't want to. I was a bartender, and he basically makes in a day what I make in a week, and he said he'd rather have more time to spend with me, instead of me working evenings all the time. But he left it up to me. I decided to quit work and go back to school, which he pays for. He's an incredible dad to our fur babies, has tons of patience with me, supports me in whatever I want to do, gives me attention, hard worker, helps with chores when I'm feeling lazy, never complains, we go on lots of adventures, my family loves him, I love him, he loves me. He is an absolute dream and I still can't believe I got so lucky. But something that keeps pressing my buttons is that he's often looking at women and models on Instagram. He doesn't blatantly do it in front of me, but I do catch him when he's scrolling through his feed or I'm walking into the room. When that happens, he apologizes and closes the app. I've never pressed the issue, but every time it happens, it bugs me. His IG profile is filled with pictures of us together, so I'm not worried on that front. He's never shown any signs of disloyalty, his eye sometimes wanders in public, but so does mine and naturally most people's from time to time, and I can say with confident certainty he wouldn't cheat or anything. Our life I think is good, while probably not as much as he'd like, we still do it 2 to 3 times a week, or whatever my body can handle. For the times I say no, he's never pushed me or made feel guilty or anything like that. At the risk of sounding braggy. But based on self-awareness and the amount of attention I get from guys, I would humbly assume that I am up there in attractiveness. But I'm definitely not in those unattainable levels of Instagram model attractiveness. Yeah, I understand all guys watch porn and have fantasies and all. But this seems like one of those things where I know he's not going to just stop. If anything, he would just look at them when I'm not around. Which doesn't seem any better. I don't know. Should this be bothering me as much as it does? Or is this just a guy thing, and I'm just overthinking it? Comment. You're going to get mixed responses on here since some people see this as a hard boundary and others don't care. You're allowed to feel however you want, you can, and should, discuss it with him, but I would just ask yourself if this is the hill you want to die on. Neither of you are objectively right or wrong, this is a mismatched morals thing. However, if he's truly as perfect as you say in every other aspect, then I personally would let this one difference go. It's up to you to decide how important it is in your relationship though, not me. I think it comes down to every relationship's boundaries. That is for y'all to figure out and talk through, coming from a woman whose current fiancé was similar. It has a negative effect on a woman's self-confidence when their partner does follow models, porn stars, or a bunch of over women online, based on many studies. So you aren't crazy in what you are feeling, I know I felt the same. Tell him how you feel and hopefully y'all can come to a resolution together. I know my fiancé didn't mean any harm by it, but he also didn't know I felt the way I did until I voiced it. Good luck. This is a hard one. Because there's no female equivalent. There's not tons of TikToks and Instagrams with males I personally find attractive half-dressed. As opposed to the opposite with women, where it seems like there's a half-naked girl on every platform every time you open it. And men are, how do you say it, less picky. If your feed was filled with men in their boxers or gym shorts, with their dick print showing through, that you found attractive, do you think your partner would mind you looking at it? I know it would bother my partner, but he also looks at girls online every single day. Hard to get that point across to him unless I physically do it in his face. Yeah, that just makes you a hypocrite. Since you do it, and have no issue with it affecting how you feel about your partner, then you just need to get over it really. Or stop doing it yourself and have a discussion with him. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I don't mean for her to use it in a malicious way, because that doesn't solve the problem. But sometimes even saying this out loud to a guy gives them some perspective. It could be as simple as, I know there's a lot of women on social media nowadays, and I want to make it clear I trust you, but I'd prefer if you never specifically seek out women online, or followed specific women just to look at them. If he's scrolling and it comes up every once in a while, that's one thing. but if it makes her uncomfortable she should be allowed to voice it? Too often partners are shut down about setting social media boundaries because everything is normal nowadays. LOL. Look, I get it, he's an amazing guy and all, but let's cut the crap here. It's not just a guy thing or you overthinking it. It's a matter of respect and boundaries. Sure, everyone checks out attractive people from time to time, but consistently ogling women on Instagram while you're in a committed relationship is crossing the line. Don't settle for being second best to some pixelated fantasy. Have a real conversation about your feelings and set some damn boundaries. You deserve better. There isn't a single way you should feel. Sit with yourself and decide how you do feel. It's okay if you're bothered, it's okay if you're not. If you are bothered, talk to him about it. Be respectful and of course don't tell him what he can or can't do, and he will be respectful of you and your feelings. You two will come together to find a solution. Of course, it does take a lot of trust, but with a relationship like that I have faith you two will figure it out together. Story 2. I went through my girlfriend's phone and is now confused about our relationship. Hi, I recently got into my first relationship, with GF. We met off a dating app and we clicked instantly. Things went well from day one, we used to text a lot, meet most days for coffee, since we work very nearby, etc. We couldn't having a lot of intimate time together since she used to live at a ladies only hostel and me with my roommates until I moved out a month ago. Some things I wasn't comfortable with was that she used to text other people or her friends a lot even when we were spending time together. Sometimes it felt like she waited for me to look away to make a quick text. Also most of her friends are male. At least the friends that live in our city. She often spends time with them alone for coffee or at the movies but does tell me about it or invites me to, not sure if that's about every time they've met. I have met most of them. Some of them were guys she works with or met on the dating app before me and proceeded to become friends. There is also the occasional lying that I often have realized. I am extremely introverted, often overthink and non-confrontational. Although during our second month I confirmed with her that we are exclusive. Sometimes I've mentioned that you talk to other guys a lot as a joke. She laughs it off. I haven't explicitly stated that I'm uncomfortable with her behavior. Some days ago, we both were lying in bed using our phones. That's when I had a peek accidentally. She texting a guy, I'm such food company aha. I ignored it that day. But it instilled heavy doubt in my mind. This made me extremely restless and anxious the following days. A few days after we were drinking at my place and after we went to bed. I couldn't sleep at all because of the texts. My insecurity got the best of me and I snooped into her phone and read her texts with the guy. So they met off the dating app before where we met. He was looking for something casual and so was she at that time. They test occasionally or send memes to each other. Sometime what he would send would be NSFW. They talked about why they didn't hook up and also would send each other photos on Instagram while we were dating. He would often try to make his moves but she would reject him saying she has a boyfriend now etc. I scrolled more and that's when I began to lose trust. I was out of town. She texts him, take me out for drinks I'm bored. He asks where her BF is at. She says I'm out of town. He says he still can't because he is out of town too. I'm not sure if she just wants to spend time as friends or she had intentions to cheat. She had mentioned she was on her period then to me. Maybe she just wanted attention. Later on he invites her for a concert, to bring her friends, F, and he would bring his, M. She says yes and is absolutely thrilled about the idea if he pays for it and drops her back. I am totally wrong for snooping. This is my first ever relationship. Should I break things off with her or talk it out with her and see if she comes clean? Comnet. Okay, so you are young and make your first experiences with relationships. First thing, forget any feelings for this woman and do not try to understand why, how, etc. There is no room for her in your life. Second thing, this is much more important. Start personal development. Gain confidence for yourself. Find your mission and have fun. Woman will come anyway if you manage this. One day you will look back and understand that this kind of woman would have never passed your natural filters. She only did now because you are not ready. It seems she may be auditioning for your replacement. Either that, or her ego needs way more male attention than she can get from just you. The first incident when you were out of town might be something you could get past, but most people would consider it as an attempt to cheat. Add on the concert plans and my and most others reading this, comment is she is definitely planning to cheat on you with this guy. Adding on, my bet is if you check her phone for texts with the other guys, she has probably already cheated with one or more of those other guys. I hope you aren't living with her. If you are, make your plans and find a place to move to and be ready to leave. My petty side says if you're living with her, to move out while she is at that concert. Let her come back to an empty place, and a note: I hope you enjoyed the concert with X, goodbye. I think you have to decide whether you want to invest any more with her. Is she worth going on with, or is she just somebody you're dating for now? If you think that she is worth it, then I suggest you have a conversation about what exclusivity looks like to you. Lay down some ground rules, like not sexy texting, and not getting dopamine hits from other guys, and definitely not going out with other guys on anything that might look like a date. If she doesn't like those rules, then break it off. If she goes with those rules and doesn't break them, you are good. If she breaks them, break it off. A lot of people use texting to get a dopamine hit these days, and sometimes it slides into the wrong area because they aren't aware that it could hurt somebody they care about. Bottom line, you are young, than me, and this probably is not the relationship that is going to last forever. Always make sure to treat yourself with the utmost respect. Decide what is appropriate for you and don't let that slide. Being friends with guys that you met on a dating app is a red flag. She's keeping them in her back pocket for later or when she's bored. As evident. But her behavior is very disrespectful and shady. She's not yours, it's just your turn. This relationship is fairly new and short, and so I don't think you should ignore these red flags. They are warnings to exit and leave. You need someone more committed, respectful and honest towards you. Someone who takes you seriously and wouldn't do something that would knowingly upset you. Because I'm sure she would have a problem if you had a lot of girlfriends and texted them to go out for drinks while she was out of town. Either be more stern about your boundaries or break up. At this point, while you're not dating years, it's better to move on. You gained your experience, know how to respect yourself and have boundaries. Don't let her act like you're not in a relationship, when she clearly acts like she's single. In your next relationship you will wonder, how the hell I thought that girl was a good human being. You don't need these games. She's a player and you're just too green and easy prey until she finds a better replacement. Unfortunately, my guy, she's either cheating or is going to cheat, because when you're out of town she immediately texts the other guy to go for a date. Suggest breaking it off to her and spare yourself the heartbreak. Watch SSM to learn more of your situation.